When a dying star whispered humanity's true name, it was not a greeting. It was a recognition, a remembrance. Across galaxies and millennia, it was a message echoing from the dawn of time and resonating through eternity. The ship Aurora's Veil drifted silently through the dark sea of interstellar space. Its crew of 7 was on a mission no one had ever attempted before, to reach the star designated Eidolon 7, a red supergiant nearing the end of its life. Astronomers had observed strange pulses of radiation from it, not random, but patterned, as if the star itself was trying to speak. At first, most dismissed it as noise, a coincidence of collapsing plasma and chaotic magnetic storms. But when the signals began to echo across multiple spectrums, forming sequences too structured to ignore, humanity could not look away. For the first time in history, we were faced with a terrifying question. Could a star be alive enough to remember? Captain Elena Vare stood at the observation deck as the dying giant filled their view. Eidolon 7's surface boiled and twisted like molten oceans, flares lashing out in arcs larger than entire planets. Yet, within that violence, there was something almost intentional, like breaths, like a voice caught in fire. Dr. Kazuo Ren, the mission's astrophysicist, whispered almost reverently, "It's not just energy, it's a language." The crew gathered as data streamed into the ship's core processors. The pulses were not random. They carried a structure resembling ancient phonetics, though no human tongue had spoken it before. But the deeper the algorithms translated, the clearer one phrase emerged, repeated endlessly. "I remember you." The words chilled the crew to silence. "How can it remember us?" whispered Miradal, the linguist, her voice trembling. "Stars don't have memories." "No," Dr. Wren replied, "but they carry them. Every photon, every particle a star emits, travels outward forever. What if Eidolon 7 has absorbed echoes of civilizations across the cosmos? What if, in its death throes, it releases them back, like a final exhalation of memory? For hours, the ship recorded the pulses. More words emerged, fragmented, ancient. Then came one sequence that sent shivers through every human aboard. The star spoke a name. Not in English, not in Latin, not in any tongue known to Earth. But when the translation engine parsed it, the meaning was unmistakable. Children of the remembered flame. The crew looked at one another in stunned silence. It was not Homo sapiens, not humans. The dying star had given them a name far older, far deeper, one that resonated in their bones. Captain Vare whispered, "Is that our true name?" Miradal shook her head, eyes wide. "It's not a label, it's recognition. The star is telling us what we are to the universe." Days passed as they orbited the collapsing giant, listening. Each flare was like a sentence, each pulse a memory. The star spoke of civilizations long gone, empires of crystal and light, species that danced across nebulae, voices now extinct, remembered only in its flames. And among all those voices, it repeated humanity's name again and again, as though insisting we would not be forgotten. But with each hour, the star grew weaker. Its core trembled on the brink of collapse. The ship's sensors screamed warnings. Eidolon 7 would soon go supernova. They had to leave or be obliterated. Still, the crew lingered. "What if this is the last chance?" Mira pleaded. "What if this is the only time in history we will ever hear the universe speak our name?" Even as alarms blared, they stayed to listen. The star's voice grew fragmented, broken by waves of collapsing plasma. Yet through the static came one last, desperate phrase. "Do not be afraid. You are the flame that remembers itself." Then silence. The star's light faltered. The great red giant shuddered inward, and in a blinding flash it collapsed into itself. A wave of energy exploded outward, a final scream of brilliance before the inevitable supernova. The Aurora's Veil barely escaped, its engines burning at full thrust as the blast hurled them into the void. When the light dimmed, only a remnant remained, a newborn neutron star pulsing with cold, rhythmic light. The great voice was gone. Back on Earth, when the recordings were revealed, billions watched in stunned silence. The phrase echoed across languages and cultures, translated again and again, "Children of the remembered flame." For some, it was myth reborn. For others, science stretched to its breaking point. But no one could deny the weight of it, that in the final breath of a star, humanity had been acknowledged. Not forgotten, not irrelevant, seen. Theologians called it divine. Scientists debated neural plasma echoes, memory patterns, and cosmic data storage. Poets simply wept. But for Captain Vare and her crew, it was personal. They had heard the whisper not as data, but as a voice in the dark. And that voice had told them something humanity had longed to believe since the dawn of time: that we mattered. Years later, a monument was built on Earth, not of stone, but of light. Towers of mirrored glass reaching toward the heavens, inscribed with a single phrase in every known human language: "We are the children of the remembered flame." And when children of a new generation, born beneath those towers, looked up at the night sky, they did not see silence. They saw memory. They saw belonging. And perhaps, somewhere far away, another star prepared to whisper. This is a science channel. And when a dying star whispered humanity's true name, it was not an ending. It was a reminder that in this vast universe, we are not just observers. We are participants in the great memory of existence.